What's up, winners? We have one of the craziest interviews ever, and we have a really special guest. She was a lawyer, then she worked in domestic violence, counseling people, tons of experience, works in legal aid, knows a lot about cults and how to combat them, so she's a real expert. We have Human Essence here. Thanks so much for being here.
Oh, thank you, Winning Communication. I'm looking forward to it. And one of the things that I was hoping to see you react to this was just how dismissive we see Blake Lively being to the interviewer. So the background of this was that she was in a Woody Allen movie at the very time when nobody would be in a Woody Allen movie because he was all over the news for harassing his own children, sexually his own children. I don't know if I could say that. So this is the interview that she did where she was ready to quit her job.
Okay, let's check it out.
First of all, congrats on your little bump.
Congrats on your little bump.
What about my bump?
You've got two nice ones.
And they are kind of bumps, aren't they?
No, not bumps. The lovely lady lumps. Check it out.
Thank you.
Are
You like the movie? Are you a Woody Allen fan?
I love most of his movies, and this one was so visually amazing.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Did you guys love wearing those kind of?
Well, the first thing I see, it seems like she likes attention, definitely going out her way to be a little risque. What do you think of this? What background can you give us?
Well, one of the things that I noticed is that when Christy Flaw asks her about her bump, she says, "Look at your bump," and she's referring to her stomach. And that was very insulting. And then she goes on and she dismisses her by talking to her friend. And it goes on like that. So keep watching. I'm interested to see your reactions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And working in
Everyone wants to
digital,
talk about the clothes, but I wonder if they would ask the men about the clothes.
I would.
I love Jesse's
He's so
suits and
beautiful. That's what I'm
hats.
saying. His wardrobe was beautiful.
I know,
Corey's
everybody.
wardrobe
I
was
know,
gorgeous.
he's
Those
so
high-waisted pants.
He's so great.
I wish men
And
wore
sorry.
It
high-waisted
seems
pants.
like they're already
I know.
ignoring the interviewer.
Or
too.
their father with his tank top in
Oh,
bed.
it's so
Just
good.
it's just like
Did you
that.
catch
You can feel
the
it.
tablecloth on the light in the Italian restaurant?
What the heck? They seem like they have huge egos. They're very just in their own little world. Like, we don't care that we're being interviewed. It's crazy.
And they're also not only ignoring the interviewer, but you're noticing that Blake Lively is saying you wouldn't ask the men about their costumes. So she's trying to create a situation where the interviewer would be ashamed of her question, and then that gives her an excuse for ignoring her.
Yeah, that's such a good point. So she's right away trying to frame it as the interviewer being sexist and just being really, really nasty. Because that.
Yeah, the interviewer did something wrong. The interviewer was sexist, and therefore we can ignore her and mistreat her. They've got a plausible reason to do it, which is one of the things that people do when they're trying to be abusive to somebody. They look for a reason why the person would think that it's valid. So they might think, this is my fault and I deserve this, and maybe I shouldn't have asked that question. So that's something that she's doing, and it's a common tactic.
That's such a good, yeah, and it's so, I didn't even catch it because she's so confident. They're just acting like they're being friendly, and they're acting like they're totally at ease. She's very slick. Yeah.
I didn't notice that. No.
There's
So
so
I
much
feel like-
warmth of everything,
Yeah, it's not just the women that have the clothes. I feel like the women
Victoria-
get the conversation, but it's like
Yeah.
every detail with everybody.
But yeah,
It's so,
it was
so
amazing
beautiful.
to look at. And then to
Steve's
see
white
it,
suits.
yes.
And then you notice in LA, like everybody's in cream color.
And now that you'd mentioned that to me, you see the interviewer, she's moving her hand, she's a little uncomfortable. Because it's, when you get these sort of things, these bullies who do these things, they're the a normal person wants to be nice and they'll question themselves. You don't expect that. So the interviewer looks uncomfortable now. So basically, you pointing that out, it is just them, in a way, they act like they're on a different conversation, but really it's all criticism of the question, right?
And it's like Mean Girls. We're going to talk to each other and we're going to leave the interviewer out of it. It's her interview and they're not letting her speak.
Yeah, completely.
And all the men are wearing like white and cream, and then you get to New York and it's a little bit more browns and moodier, and Susie really told such a story.
Yeah, and I really get that Mean Girls vibe, and also just like that kind of thing where they're touching each other's pointing at each other's butts and breasts and things. I think that's also like alienates the interviewer. It's like we know each other. We know. Remember Chris? Remember John? You know, like when you with someone new and just constant inside jokes, doing things that they can't be a part of. I think it's very isolating.
And it's at a time when Woody Allen was all over the news because of allegations about his daughters. And here they're very proudly talking about how beautiful the movies is and leaving out the interviewer. Yeah. So she can't ask anything about that.
Yeah.
Alongside Vittorio, because it is a lot brighter and sunnier in LA, and New York has just a steaminess to it.
And I think, the whole Hollywood glam, it's so glamorous. Can you relate to the things they were saying about Hollywood? It's so easy to get seduced by the fame and the money and the glamour.
You see it all the time. That was one of my favorite things about the movie, were the subtle turns to their own transition into like the ego of showbiz that Kristen has in that scene with Steve Carell, and then with Bobby taking on the persona of a club owner, but still like these are things you do when you're an adult.
Yeah.
When you have to work, you play a part.
What are they talking about? I have no idea. I think this one is boring. She seems like artsy to me in a bad way. Not that being artsy is bad, but the stereotypical artsy person who's like, my thoughts are just so important. I was up late at night and I just thought this and I think it's important and just totally inane. You have any thoughts?
Affected.
Yes.
You play at your life in a way that you find successful, or so it's a lot about choices. And then they carry this love.
She speaks Meghan Markleese here.
Yeah, yes.
Really are too.
Yeah.
It's what you would see from the outside of the cafe society. You could dismiss each of their characters, and to see what a heart and soul each of them have is nice, and it's something that that's the thing. As far as like relating to it personally, that you see, you have these ideas of people that you're fans of, and you meet them.
To me, she has nothing to say,
just
an excuse to
oftentimes you're such a greater fan of them as a person than you are as the person
she's
that
about
people
to
feel.
say how famous people are even better than you think they are.
Oh, let's see.
They know, and that's always that's always nice and refreshing when you see that.
Yeah.
What do you feel like is the biggest misconceptions about fame and Hollywood in general?
I think the idea that people think that they know you, I think because of how intrusive media is these days, people care so much more about your personal life than they do your work, and if you aren't open with your personal life, then they just make it up for you and share it for you. So I think the biggest misconception I see often is people feeling like they know someone that they don't, because they know what the media has created.
This stuff is crazy too, because I feel like so many people, they want to be famous. It's like you could have picked so many things. It's like, and the thing about being famous is like, it's harder than you think. People think they know you, even though this is what I always wanted, but anytime it's not exactly what I want, I say there's something wrong.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The thing is, when you meet the people, they're always so much more awesome than they're portrayed to be. I mean, that's normally my experience. And even people that are portrayed to be really great people, they're just a lot more complicated and interesting and nuanced and caring and thoughtful. And that's always nice, to see that your idea of someone.
It's hard to think. This is so funny, just the title of this, the Blake Lively interview, that made me want to quit my job.
And what's going on now is that Blake Lively went on with her husband, allegedly, to completely take over a movie that she was in, and she was selling some products, and she sued the person who was supposed to be the director and said that he had harassed her. And then he sued her back and sued the New York Times, and this has been all over the news. And she's referred to her dragons, meaning herself, her husband, and Taylor Swift, going after this person. So he wasn't allowed to go to the opening. He
What's his
had
own
to go
movie?
in the basement with his mother and his friend and drink from solo cups because she took over. She rewrote parts,
Oh
and
my gosh.
so there's a lot going on with her.
Guys, if you want to see more from Human Essence, we might be doing, I'm trying to convince her to do some projects in the future because she's a massive expert on this stuff. You say how right away she's able to pinpoint getting the victim to blame themselves. She's very good at that stuff, the really technical things. So I'm going to see if she can do more with us, some interactive stuff. So comment below if you want stuff like that. And thanks so much for being here.
Thank you.